Hi my friends and welcome to another tutorial on my channel. In today's video I will show you how to make an emotional Martin Garrix breakdown and we'll talk about sound selection, the arrangement and important mixing techniques. If you don't want to miss any of my videos, subscribe to my channel and without further ado, let's get right into it. So first we need some chords to work with. Make sure they are special and unique in some way. You can achieve this by changing the length of some notes or putting disharmonic notes in between. To make everything sound more human played, I recommend to randomize the velocity a bit. Now pick a realistic piano, for example the Gentleman piano from the Contact library and duplicate it. If you're asking yourself what the second layer is for, here's the answer. With this, we can draw filling notes into the existing chords to bring motion into everything, but we need to mix them in very subtle. Don't overdo it, otherwise it sounds too fast and chaotic. So, after these steps, our chord progression sounds like this. Usually this is enough for the first bars of a song, but to create a vibe and to fill up some space, I decided to drag some ambient samples into the project. Turn the volume down almost completely because we want them just in the background. To make them more interesting, I process them with Pancake 2, which means they move between left and right. The next part have to contain more elements. Changes always catch the attention of the listener and announce a new section of your track. In the first step we go for an arpeggio. Draw a counter melody which fits to the chords, put it an octave higher, choose a real sounding piano and put a lot of reverb on it. That's it. In every emotional progressive house track you mustn't miss strings. So go to your favorite orchestra plugin, in my case it's Contact Session Strings, and click on a preset you like. Lower the volume a bit and fade them in slowly by using a filter automation. Use the same chords as we used for the piano, but without the filling notes. To cover a wider frequency range in this part, let's add some bass. I recommend a hand-picked bass because then you have a more realistic and natural sound. Copy the lowest notes of our chord progression, cut them into pieces and draw this rhythm. This will change a lot. Now we need some percussive elements. For example hi-hats, claps, or toms. I went for some snaps, playing on every second half bar. Put a bit of reverb on them and lower the volume level a bit. In the end, grab a picked electric guitar sample to keep the groove going. These were all the elements of the second part of the break. Let's jump right into the last part. For this, we need some more percussion. To be exactly a kick, drop claps and some shaker loops. For a smooth transition, let's use some impacts and downlifters. All together sound like this. Don't forget to sidechain the bass when the kick begins to play. Otherwise you will have clashing frequencies and a muddy sounding mixdown. The rest is just some ear candy, like this atmospheric sample. And this synth pluck harp. Now we have a solid result. But I had the feeling that our song is lacking a bit of the low mid frequencies, better known as area that gives warmth to your track. To solve this problem, open up Silent 1. Load the init preset, set the polyphony to 11, change voices to 6, deactivate the retrigger button, choose a low pass filter, and after these steps, copy the chords into the synth. As you can hear, this is helping a lot. These are all elements I used to create an emotional Martin Garrix style breakdown. Before we listen to the final result, just a short advice: what's important while mixing those elements. Give every single one of them a place in the mix. You can achieve this by EQing, using reverb, or stereoize them. For low-frequency instruments like bass etc., cut a tiny bit of the high end. High-frequency elements like chords, arpeggios, claps, and so on I'm used to low-cut at around 200 kHz. To make things more interesting you can use panning for instance, or some plugins which bring groove into your sound like for example Grossbeat. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're interested in more production content, check out my Patreon where you can find sample packs, FLPs and more. Thanks for watching, please subscribe to my channel and see you next time.